Back to the Capitol Review. I'm Mark Hall. This week marked the 23rd anniversary of 9/11. It's a day we'll never forget. 23 years ago, terrorists hijacked 4 planes, crashing 2 into the north and south towers of the World Trade Center. A third struck the Pentagon. Passengers on the hijacked 4th plane fought back, forcing the terrorists to crash in Somerset County, Pennsylvania, right outside of Shanksville. Nearly 3,000 people died in the initial aftermath. Remembrance ceremonies took place around the region, including at Arlington National Cemetery, and the American flag is unfurled over the Pentagon building, a solemn reminder of the 184 lives lost there. And joining us to talk about the anniversary is John Byrnes. He is the Strategic Director for Concerned Veterans for America. He's also a veteran of the United States Marine Corps and Army National Guard. John, welcome back to Capitol Review.
Always great to talk to you and your audience, Mark.
It is great to talk to you also. Today we're talking about remembering 9/11, and I know that you told us that you responded soon after the attacks as a member of the Army National Guard, as a first responder. Take us back 23 years ago.
Sure. Beautiful late summer, sunny morning, a little bit of a breeze, still a little warm. Went swimming in the morning. Was walking upstairs to my first class at Hunter College and sat in that class, and a couple of minutes in, heard fire trucks. A couple of minutes later, a young woman in the back of the class said the Twin Towers got hit by an airplane. A few seconds later, it was terrorism. And at that point, I just, I got up, excused myself, and turned in all the homework I had to the various professors and headed down to my armory. So, which was about halfway between Hunter College and Ground Zero. So it was about halfway. It was in the mid-20s.
That experience, being on the ground, is that something that's just impossible to forget? Is it something that you think about often?
I don't think about it often, but every year, it's a deep reflection. Spent a couple of minutes every year listening to some music, Bruce Springsteen's The Rising, Into the Fire. Remember that Saturday on Saturday Night Live, Paul Simon played the boxer. I think about the folks who were lost that day, and some of the folks who we've lost since then.
You, after your time in New York City, soon after you went over to Iraq, and then after that Afghanistan to fight the war on terrorism. How do you make that connection between what happened on 9/11 and then, first of all, our first effort over in Iraq?
Well, we were in Afghanistan just weeks after September 11th. I think it was October 7th. We started with air missions and put some special forces on the ground. Very, very justified move, in my opinion. At that time, they were all justified. I've come to change my mind a little bit about some of them. We went to Iraq. I went to Iraq in 2004. So we started training in 2003, interrupted that university education. And at the time, I was gung-ho. Soldiers, like Marines, want to believe in their cause, right? We want to know that what we're doing is right. And at the time, I thought I was serving the best interests of my country. And just like on September 11th, we lost people in Iraq. I lost people in Afghanistan. So,
how should we, as we move forward, continue to remember September 11th and all that is connected with that?
Well, first of all, we should remember those we've lost. I think also we should remember those we've lost in the meantime. I mean, when you add the victims of September 11th, those who've died overseas and those who've taken their own lives after serving in these conflicts overseas, we're talking about over 40,000 Americans. The other thing that I think people should remember is that spirit we had on September 12th, September 13th. It was anger, it was grief, but it was united. We had a debate this past week, and it's just, the way people are talking about it is symptomatic of how far we've gotten from that moment. It's unfortunate that it took a tragedy that large to bring Americans together and make us feel all like Americans.
I'll never forget President Bush at Yankee Stadium. Remember, he threw that slider or whatever pitch it was, and then I think the eagle then flew out of the stadium. Why does it take bad things to happen for us to come together?
I don't know. I talk to people all the time. I know people on all different sides of the political spectrum, all different, parts of the diversity rainbow. And I rarely meet anyone who doesn't really want what's best for their neighbors, what's best for their family, what's best for themselves, what's best for our country in almost every case. Just disagreement about what best looks like and how to get there. But I think, we should be working around that. We're stronger when we're united, even if we disagree with what the path to get somewhere is.
John Byrnes, thank you very much for joining us.
Always great to be on, Mark. Thanks for having me.